evolutionary guys, this has to do with my previous video where I talked about the tides and realizing that there are 4 pillars up in heaven that actually create the 6-hour oscillation of the tides. Every 6 hours it's going to go from high tide to low tide and back again. And I told you how that's a quadruple magnetic current. We talked about that. Let's pull up the screen here. Oh, I have to import that video. 1 second. Loop it. There it is. Alright. How tides really work. Let's see, concave Earth. 6-hour oscillation. 6-hour oscillations are due to the 4 magnetic pillars of heaven creating a quadruple magnetic circuit. The moon and sun create pressure pockets as well. And so every 6 hours, the moon and the sun are being in different positions, and they're going to be affecting the tides as well due to the lunar solar precession. And because there's no air up there, especially in that Dewar zone where the moon operates, the moon is not going to enlarge and shrink due to that. It does enlarge and shrink due to distance and the refraction of the glass. But because we have air down at the ground, it is definitely playing a factor into creating these pockets of pressure. And so basically what you see there, just going one at a time here: magnetic flux divergence, convergence, divergence, convergence. Let's do it again. I'll help you see where I made those. I created those lines of force. They're giving you direction lines basically. And so the divergence corners or pillar is going to actually create a higher tide in the ocean, because that energy, that the pressure or the magnetic flux is pulling inward toward the center. The magnetic divergence, when they're diverting away like that, it's actually pushing, so it's going to create a low tide area. And yeah, I mean, the Earth has specific zones that have lower or higher tides based upon their location, which gives you an indication that there's no spin to the Earth and there's no spin to the octahedron up in the center. There is the spin to the stars around the octahedron as well as the planets, but the foundations of the Earth are firm. They cannot be moved, and so there they are. And so you got that magnetic flux happening there. I don't think it's really affecting too much the perimeter field in the center. It's more the outer corners of the octahedron that's affecting that. But yeah, this coincides perfectly with understanding what's really happening with the tides within the Earth. And the moon and the sun do play a factor in that. But for the most part, they are being created. The low areas and high areas are being created because we have a quadruple magnetic current within the pillars of heaven, within the Earth, within the concavity of the Earth. That's the only way it can work, guys. That's the only way it can work. You see, I made this graphic a long time ago. We have 4 equilibrium points, equatorial equilibrium points. 2 stable ones, you see there on the left, negative 104.7, and then a 75.3. Those are the stable ones, and that would be the actual the divergent push. Going back to the animation here. So the stable areas are the divergence, and the unstable equilibrium points are the convergence, where they're unstable. You have these geosynchronous satellites orbiting within the Earth. They're inside, guys. Watch my Himawari 8 satellite video if you don't understand that, or the Solar Dynamics Observatory. But they're inside like that, and they are affected. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. But they're affected by the pressure as well. But and that's probably why they have to move them in a figure-8 pattern. But the convergence is happening. That creates the higher tide, and the divergence the lower tide. You understand? Let's see what else I can show you here. Here's a map of Earth, and you see that it has specific zones within the Earth, especially at the equator, where they have specific depths of water level. And so with those 4 equilibrium points, they're matched right there. You see one, that's an unstable one, that's under Africa over there, and then there's one kind of under India, that's a stable one. So they alternate like that. And there's a stable one a little bit west of South America, and an unstable one a little bit north and east of Australia. And so that's the reason why it's happening, guys. See, everything works when you have your foundations, right? When you have your foundations laid properly, foundations of the Earth, everything falls into place. There's no ands, ifs, buts about this. This is why tides are happening. Okay, you got that quadrupole effect happening. It's alternating. 2 sides push, 2 sides pull, and they vary the pressure. And the moon and the sun vary the pressure as well. And so when the moon, like let's say, let me pull up a screen here. When the moon is at different locations, I gotta get this one. Let me get this. Hold on a second. I can't find the window. There it is. Okay. So if we're looking top down, this is looking top down, guys. And if I just move this timeline across the bottom there, you'll see the moon. I have the moon highlighted. Right now the moon is at the top over there. And the sun would be that onion shape, like 90 degrees to the right of the moon over there. And so wherever the moon and the sun are located at any specific day within the Earth, they are going to affect the pressure as well. But it's originally stemming from the actual backlit, or the rearward sunlight. Let me get a shot of that if I can. So the rearward sunlight is actually governing the actual the backlit sun, how it's going there. It's actually altering the way that the tides work, and so we have a 6-hour regular pattern to the tides. And that's just going okay. So yeah, there you go. That's what's happening. Understand? There's no ands, ifs, or buts.